Hello everybody, it's Tim here again, here another movie review, this time with the film Shazam. I just recently got done watching Shazam, and I gotta say, this is easily a 4-star out of 4 film. I totally agree with critics on this one. This is an awesome film. It is my personal favorite film of the DCEU, and the DCEU is a mixed bag for a lot of people. Some films they like, some films they hate. You never know quite what you're gonna get with the DCEU when it comes to at least most of the mainstream viewers, it seems. For me personally, I'm a big DC fan. I've enjoyed all the DCEU films to different degrees. Man of Steel I thought was an awesome new reinvention of Superman. Yeah, slightly darker, more in the New 52 range, but at the end of the day, it still felt like a Superman film. Batman v Superman, the theatrical cut, I hated. I did like it when I first saw it, but then I hated it when I saw it again after I've seen the Ultimate Cut. The Ultimate Cut I thought was great. It's not as good and not as tightly written as Man of Steel, but it is a great blockbuster film. Suicide Squad is a mess, a total mess, and I completely understand why people hate Suicide Squad. Personally, I like Suicide Squad. I thought it was great, messy fun, and the cast did a great job. Wonder Woman is an awesome film, and that and this film are probably the two best of the DCU in terms of actual content. Justice League, I personally enjoyed. I thought was awesome. I thought it was an awesome film, as like a throwback to the old school Super Friends type thing. But a lot of Zack Snyder fans didn't like it because it wasn't a true Zack Snyder film, and I 100% understand that. But for me, being a fan of old school Super Friends type stuff, I enjoyed it, minus the bad CGI. And now we come to almost forgot about Aquaman. Aquaman was an awesome, fun time. This is even better than Aquaman. It's more tightly written than Aquaman. The story is better here than Aquaman. It's not, of course, this is a family film. It's not like a more adult flick, like for more adults and teenagers like Aquaman and the other ones kind of were. This is a clear family film. But if you're like, you got a child at heart and stuff like that, you can really have a blast with this film. It's a lot of fun. Zachary Levi as Shazam is funny as hell. I love the scene when they're testing his powers and he like goes into these robbers who are robbing his convenience store and he gets shot and his foster brother is with him and he's like, but is the suit bulletproof or are you bulletproof? Hey, shoot him in the face. And then Zachary Levi's like, what? Shoot me in the face? And they shoot him in the face, and of course he survives. He's like, oh, you're dead. And he throws him out the window. You saw it in the trailer. It's such a funny scene. He gets his powers from Demon Houston, or however you said the actor's name, who was also in Aquaman as one of the fish people, and he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy. He does a really good job here. I'll admit, when this film first started and I saw him in like this reddish looking pimp magician outfit, it was a little silly. It took me a minute to get into this flick, but I really got into the film once it kicked in and it became like big, the superhero film. It's just so much fun. This film is a lot of fun. I really recommend taking your children to see this flick. This movie is a lot of fun. And when it comes to like the foster family of the main kid, Billy Batson, they're all really likable. There's like this little cute black girl who's really adorable, and then his brother is like the kid from It, who was like the asthma kid. On here, he is great. One thing I will say about the movie, the guy who plays Billy Batson, the boy, he does a good, solid job. But the boy who plays his foster brother, the one from It with the crutches, he's better. He's great. The guy who plays Billy Batson, though, is good. But I will say that the chemistry with Zachary Levi was better with the crutch boy than it was with like the kid on crutches. His chemistry with Zachary Levi was better than his chemistry with the kid who played the actual kid, is what I'm trying to get at. At least it felt that way to me. Like towards like the third act of the movie, though, it did feel like their chemistry got a lot better. And there are, even though this is a family film, there are some really cool dark moments in here too. Like there's these 7 sin things who are kind of like the opposite of Shazam. They're these evil things that go into this Mark Strong's eyeball and give him like demonic powers, kind of like Shazam. And he of course wants to take Shazam's power to become even stronger. And that's pretty much what it comes to. It's not like he doesn't like start destroying the earth or blowing up the planet or anything. This is more like, if you've seen Ant-Man, it's more like the level of like, Ant-Man like that. And that's why it works. They kept it small here. There's no need for a big let's destroy the universe plot here. There's no need whatsoever. And one thing I do like is it starts the film out, and the little kid in the back of the vehicle who winds up being the villain, who grows up to be Mark Strong, is like this little kid who's abused by this horrible father, played by, I forget this actor's name. Maybe it's John Glover, I think. It's the guy who played Lex Luthor's dad on Smallville, also playing an abusive dad on there. He plays an abusive dad on here. He's a douchebag, and later on when he comes back with power, he's like, "You never thought I'd amount to anything, didn't you, Dad?" And he grabs his abusive brother as well, and like throws him out the friggin' window. That was awesome. And the Seven Sins or whatever, the monsters, they were really cool design wise. I really like the effects for them. And like when they're ripping the people apart in the office and stuff like that, where his dad works. I didn't see that coming for a really family tone film like this. One thing that I really liked about this film is like the whole message of family and how it can be more than just like blood relation. Like family is deeper than that. You know, I really like that message of the flick. Like his mother, he lost her when he was a kid, and he spent his whole life like trying to find her, and that's why he keeps running away from his foster homes, because he wants to find his real mom. And later on at the end of the movie, he does find her, and you find out she was like 17 when she had him, and she just didn't think she could take care of him, so she gave him up. She never went to get him once he got lost. She knew he was lost, and she knew where he was, and she never went after him. So you kind of see that coming when you see the mom, but at the same time, it's so well acted, the scene is, that you forgive it because it just flows really well, like into the plot and the narrative. This is a good, solid script. Some of the magic stuff, there is a little bit of plot holes here and there. Like at the end of the movie, when he turns into, the big Shazam, he's like, Envy is the only demon that never came out. It's because he's so wimpy or whatever, and that like forces the final demon to come out of Mark Strong. Because once all the demons come out of him, if all of them come out of him, he loses his powers and just becomes a normal guy, because they're the ones powering him. And so it's like, well, how did he know Envy was the only demon left? Does he like recognize all these demons and know all their names? I mean, what? If he did realize all their names, I didn't quite catch it. But there's so many great homages to the other DCEU films in this. If you are a massive DCEU fan or a big DCEU fan like me, it's one of my favorite franchises. I really love DC and Marvel too. But I'll just tell you right now, this is easily better than Captain Marvel. And I'm not trying to compare or trying to blast Marvel. It's just that these two movies came out around the same time, and a lot of people are comparing them, and this is easily the better film. And if you enjoyed Captain Marvel more, that's great. That's cool. Personally, I think this is easily the better flick. Zachary Levi does a great job here. He really surprised me with how good he was, because I really haven't seen this dude in anything. A lot of people said he was good in the show Chuck, I think is what it was. And I've never watched an episode of that, so I have no idea. He's great here. All in all, yeah, solid 4 out of 4-star film. And at the end of the film, when he passes on like his power to the other family members, the stepbrothers and sisters, and they all become like the Shazam family from the comics, that was great. And the way they act and everything as the grown-up versions, it's just a lot of fun. I highly recommend you see this film, and it's got a great Christmas theme to it and everything. Kind of reminded me of Jingle All the Way, but in a really good way. And I actually like Jingle All the Way. So I highly recommend you guys see this film. It's very well worth seeing. The director of this film also directed the movie Lights Out, which was a horror film I saw that I honestly thought sucked. A lot of people seem to like it. I thought it sucked. At least when I watched it back in the day, I thought it sucked. Maybe if I give it a rewatch, it might be better now, but I do not remember liking it. This film, though, is an awesome flick and my favorite DCEU film, and I highly recommend it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.